What is going on, guys? This is Snorlaxus here, and today I am bringing you the PBF Week 7. I actually have the correct week this time. I looked it up. Versus our good pal Zamcro or Scoot. He is a longtime friend of mine. Done lots of leagues of him. He's kind of the commissioner of this league, kind of not. I know there's some like long story about there's someone else that ran it, and then he took it over, but then that person hasn't come back, and basically Scoot runs everything. So he's a very impressive battler. Has a good rap sheet. So this was definitely a match I was looking forward to and kind of worrying about the entire week, prepping for it and just waiting for our time to battle here since it's late Sunday night here and we just haven't had a good time to battle between our schedules and stuff. So he brings his two big threats in Tapo Coco and that's Kieran Black, both very scary. I don't have great switch-ins, honestly, to either on my team. Honestly, Meltank is the best switch-in I have to both, so I have to play my Meltank very carefully. He has his Mega Heracross, which is fun to face. I haven't faced very many of those. Nidoqueen, Swampert, and then Savali, which I prepped a little bit for Savali, but I haven't faced enough to know what they do outside of just like Parting Shot and Defog and stuff. And obviously, they have like multi-attack and be all sorts of types. So I prepped for it the best I could without thinking about it too much. So I was kind of surprised, both pleasantly and just overall surprised that he brought it. But to counter his team here, I decided this week to bring a Spexible Cephalon, which outspeeds all his team minus that Coco. I have a Phytinium Z Thunderous T, which was originally for, I cannot remember actually, it was something on his team that walled Thunderous pretty fairly well. I know it was for Kieran Black and something else. He didn't bring to something else, so unless I look here, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, so in this matchup, it's not quite as helpful as I would have wanted it to be. I would have brought maybe Stakinium Z versus this team that he brought, but you never know. I brought the Salt Vest Tangrowth, Assault Vest Hydreigon, Mega Gallade, and my Meltank, which is this overall bulky, rocks, toxic, all that good stuff. So, starting out here, just looking at his team, I kind of expected that he might want, knowing that I have Thunderous and Blacephalon, which both are pretty huge offensive threats, he might want to just try and get his rocks up right away. So, I'm expecting either the Nidoqueen or that Swampert, or potentially the Coco, depending on how he wants to play his Coco. If he wants to start out and pivot, see what I want to start with, which is never a bad play either. So without further ado, I'll hop on into this here. So he does go ahead and lead with his Coco. So knowing this, I was like, okay, I don't really know what type of Coco he is. Obviously, he could be, I think he was one of his Z users. It might be Kirim, though. I honestly can't remember. I really should have looked at that before I started this recording. But I just know, regardless, like if he's Z, I get my rocks up and then oh well from there. But more than likely, I assumed he'd just be offensive, maybe like Shuka or Life Orb or something. So I wasn't too worried here. I know I'd take around half or just under half, hopefully, if my investment from anything, unless he was modest. So I'm like, all right, this seems like a pretty good situation. So I'm just gonna get my rocks. So I was gonna get my rocks, and then I decided, you know what? I think he's gonna switch in his Swampert here or his Savali just to try and get up his own rocks or to get rid of my rocks before they cause any damage. So he does go in that Savali, which I'm expecting it might have defog. I'm not sure. So I go for the Toxic, and of course I miss. So he gets Parting Shots out here as I predict the Nidoqueen to come in and go for the Earthquake, but unfortunately, obviously, with the Parting Shot, my drop did not do very much damage. Check about a Korra, so I mean, it's not bad, but it's definitely not as much as it would have been. So here I do decide to get up my rocks, see the Black Sludge damage there, and he shows that he has Taunt, which I thought was it's a very good move against my Meltank, obviously, because now I can't Milk Drink, I can't Toxic, he doesn't know what I'll have, I can't Curse if I have it, but I don't know if he was expecting that he'd be faster than me. I don't have any speed investment, so either he missped crept it or just wanted to make sure I don't start from set up and Milk Drink and be annoying. Either way, it was not a bad move because anytime, yeah, fat normal type taunting it, so it was a fun way to get around it. So I do get my rocks up, and here just expecting that he's probably going to go for either a ground move or maybe even potentially a poison move or get his own rocks up or maybe spice or something. I decided to go with my Hydreigon here. I am Salt Vest, like I said, just because I didn't really have a great item that I wanted this week. I would say maybe I almost ran an Expert Belt. But I'm like, if I run the Salt Vest, I can take one Ice Beam if it's not max special attack from a Kieran Black. I can take potentially one Dazzling Gleam from a Coco. It's a roll. Otherwise, it's like just from like Nidoqueen and Swampert and stuff, I generally take hits a lot better. So he does switch out here into that Swampert, and I just go for an Earth Power, assuming that he's going to go into basically his entire team gets hit pretty decently by it. So then I just start Dark Pulsing here. He does show the Ice Beam, and you can see here, that does just about a quarter. And saying that Hydreigon is not that bulky, I was pretty happy with that. Go for Dark Pulse. I do get a flinch, which I apologize for because, I mean, it's always a bummer getting flinched, but I mean, there's a 20% chance it's a Hydreigon, and he was pretty low anyway. In the overall effect of the game, depending on what move he went for, I guess he just went for Ice Beam. It really didn't matter. I do go in my Tangrowth here, take a Brave Bird from that Coco. I am Assault Vest, like I said, I would take anything on the special end, and I knew there's a chance he had Brave Bird from my Mega Glade in the Tangrowth, which he does. Doesn't kill me, but unfortunately my Earthquake does not kill him either. I didn't have enough investments, and he had a little bit of health or defense, it looks like, based on the calcs I was doing. I'm not sure what exactly he had. I haven't talked to him yet, but I do get him pretty low where at least he can't really switch back in and out with rocks now up unless he gets rid of the rocks. So here I go into my Meltank knowing he's either going to force the switch or I live and kill him. So he does show finally that Mega Heracross, which he obviously takes the Earthquake very well. And unfortunately, I don't have any move on that Meltank that can hit him. Really, like with the set I ran Earthquake, Toxic, Rocks, and Milk Drink. It was more just to set up rocks to sit in front of stuff. So really, the only thing I can't really hit between Toxic and Earthquake was he had one thing that I couldn't hit, but I wasn't too worried about it coming in the first place, and then my rest of my team handled it pretty well. Again, I should have checked to see what that was, so I actually know, but I did not. So here I decide that my Thundurus, just based on what he has left and the moves that I have in my Thundurus, I have Grass Knot, I have Thunderbolt, I have Nasty Plot, and that Focus Blast with the Titanium Z, that it's not terrible against what he has left, especially having an electric immunity with the Savali Electric and Coco would be nice. But it's my most expendable mon here, so I switch it in, not really having a great switch in, expecting maybe he's going to go for like a close combat or a bug move or something just to get some damage up, but he shows a sub, which is okay for me. He takes out some of his own health, and I just fire off that Thunderbolt there. He will take me out, which I knew I was playing out in the first place, so that's fine by me. And here's where I start to try and have a little bit of fun. So he hasn't seen my Blacephalon yet. I've run Scarf, I think, 2 or 3 of the 6 weeks so far, so he's probably thinking in the back of his mind that there's a pretty decent chance that I could be running Scarf against him. So I don't know what he wants to run for switching. I thought that potentially his switch-in would either be Nidoqueen or at Savali. I thought maybe too he might just sack it. So I do just fire off a Flamethrower here. And here he takes the rocks damage, and you'll see that it does a massive amount of damage. And I fire off a second one. He still doesn't know what my item is, just based on the fact that I would regularly outspeed his Savali anyway. So he more likely though, he took a little bit of time in between those turns, so I guess he did some calcs. He probably saw that I was Specs, but he might not have known depending on the rolls. I don't know what exactly his bulk set was. So I do get my Beast Boost, which is nice. At this point, he does go into that Nidoqueen. So I had to spend a little bit of time here thinking, because I was doing my calcs, and if he was very minimally health and special defense invested, which I kind of doubted, I would kill him. Otherwise, depending on exactly how much he had, it was a roll, or I wouldn't kill him. So I was like, my Cephalon still hits really heavy on that Kyurem Black, and obviously can easily take out that Mega Heracross that are sitting in the back, unless that Kyurem Black is Scarf, which is kind of in my mind at this point in the game, that if he's Scarf, I'm in trouble. Actually, just what I have, which I knew in the first place. Like a Scarf Kyurem Black does put in a decent amount of work against my team, minus maybe the Meltank. So I'm looking at the calcs here, and I did decide I am just going to go for the Flamethrower, see if I can take him out. He does live on 7. Based on that, I don't think it would have been a roll. I think I got a pretty decently higher mid-roll. So potentially still could have killed him, but just based on his taunt and rocks and such, I think that he was more than likely pretty bulky. Wouldn't have died. He shows the Earthquake too, which makes me think he was a little bulkier. But I don't really know. Like I said, I haven't talked to him or seen his sets yet, which I guess he probably won't show me in case we meet in playoffs again, which is smart. So I do a massive amount of damage, but unfortunately my Blacephalon goes down. Here I don't want his Kyurem Black to be able to come in on my Hydreigon, or even my Mega Galate if he's Scarf here. So I want to bring in my one thing that can take it on just to avoid it from coming out at all. So that way, if let's say he is Scarf and I lose the game because of that, I at least save differential by kind of forcing it to come in last, so I can take out the rest of his team first. So I do just fire off an Earthquake here. He lets his Nidoqueen go down, which I kind of expected, as he goes into his Mega Heracross. And again, I kind of have a decision to make here, because my Meltank, like I said, is super valuable for taking out that Kyurem Black, but I also don't have a switch in here. And if he's not Scarf Kyurem Black, my Hydreigon can Oko him with a Draco. So I am kind of debating here on whether I want to let my Meltank go down or let my Hydreigon go down. I do just let him fire off close combat here, and he takes out my Meltank. Hindsight 2020, I wish I would have taken out my Hydreigon, just because that Meltank, I think, was more valuable for taking on the Coco and the Kyurem Black. But in the heat of the moment, I made a different decision, which we'll see if it works out for me or not. But he does take out my melting with close combat there. I just go into my Hydreigon, fire off a flamethrower, and take him back out. So here is where I'm kind of thinking, all right, if he is Scarf, Kyurem Black, he can just come in, go for either Ice Beam or Dragon Claw, take out my Hydreigon, do a massive amount of damage to my Mega Gallade there, and then Coco Outspeed and finish off my Mega Gallade. So I was expecting to see it there if it was Scarf, but he goes into his Coco, which I'm still trying to sideline. I'm like, all right, he can still, even though I'm a Assault Vest, obviously I'm damaged heavily, and there's just no way I'm going to live a Dazzling Gleam. So he's going to go for a Dazzling Gleam here again and just take me out. So I was trying to think, is his plan to hopefully kill my Mega Gallade too with a Dazzling Gleam or a Brave Bird, and then if not, finish me off with Scarf Kyurem, or is he just not Scarf Kyurem? So I was thinking, as much as Scarf Kyurem made sense against my team, I'm thinking here that he might not be Scarf anymore, which is great for me, honestly. So like I said, he just goes for a Dazzling Gleam, takes up my Hydreigon, which is fine. As I go into my Mega Gallade here, I am just 4 attacks Mega Gallade, which I have not brought yet this season. I really wanted to bring Sub against this team, but there was just no good move for me to get rid of. I brought Psycho Cut for the Neo Queen and Mega Heracross, and I think he might have had one more thing weak to it, potentially, obviously, the Savali too, if depending on what typing he brings. I have Close Combat just for the Kyurem and just general damage. I have Leaf Blade for the Swampert, and he also has Alomomola, which does Leaf Blade does about the same as Close Combat, but it obviously doesn't drop my stats, which is nice. And then I also have, I want to say, Ice Punch or something else. I guess I'm not positive on what I was, but yeah, so he is just going to go here. I'm debating on whether he's going to go for Brave Bird or Dazzling Gleam, because Dazzling Gleam is out of his stab, but Mega Glade is more specially bulky. So he does just show here that he is going to go for that Brave Bird. Does a massive amount of damage, but based on my calcs and that roll too, I don't think there's a chance for him to kill me unless he had a lot of offense or a lot of attack investment or was attack boosting nature, which it doesn't look like he was. I don't think he could kill me. I'll have to talk to him again and see potentially what the roll was on that, and some other rolls in this game just to see what his take on it was, on whether it was a game decided by some rolls or whether I just happened to have just enough health left on a couple of things to live some hits. So then he does go into this Kyurem Black here. So if he is not Scarf, I will win with Close Combat. If he is Scarf, he can go for any move in the game pretty much and take me out. He can go for a quick attack if he had it, which Kyurem Black doesn't get, and easily kill me. So I just fire off Close Combat here, and I do outspeed. So he was not Chople. He was not Scarf. Chople was one of the things I was kind of worried about, that he might be Chople for like a Fictinium Z Thundurus or my Mega Gallade. I'm not sure what he was. He potentially could have been Assault Vest. I'm thinking, just with the way Scoot's team was built, he seemed to have a very bulky spread with that, and then just a fast Coco. I'm thinking that he was probably either Z if he did choose to take Z, or leftovers and probably like a sub roost set or something. Yeah, but I do end up winning the game 1-0 versus Scoot. Like I said, we have battled a lot together. We've been in a lot of leagues. He is a very good battler, so it's always fun when I do pull a win against him, because it doesn't happen a lot. So it's a very good match. I will make sure to drop his Twitter and his YouTube channel. Make sure you go check that out. He posts a lot more league content than I do, a lot higher quality content. And you can get a different perspective on this battle if he uploads this one, which he uploads a lot, so I'm not sure if he will or not. I can't remember if he's uploading a lot of the PBF this season or not. But yeah, that was the battle 1-1-0. I believe now. Let me actually hop on here to let's go to the PBS website. Let's see, go to rankings here. So I was 4-2, so I'm gonna move up to 5-2. So that's pretty all right with me there. If you can see that in the screen there if I move on over. So yeah, and like I said too, this website is super cool. It shows like the standings, shows each person's team and their team stats and their matchups and all that stuff. If you just have a spare second and want to check it out, it's a very, very fun website to go through, so I'd suggest that. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. I will be bringing you guys the next week here, hopefully a little earlier than I did this time. And yeah, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys again soon.